What's up, everybody? Welcome to HotMakes right here on HotMakes Live, all of the things. My name's Jim, also known as Nerdy J from the Edge of Tech. This, my friends, is Caleb, producer extraordinaire. How you doing, Caleb?
Director today as well. I was working on
director.
video projects today, and
is director like higher than producer?
Rector. Anyway, no. Yes, I'm sorry. I was waiting for you to notice what I did.
No, yes, no, yeah.
No, yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
You're covering up the DI?
Moving on.
And you said rector.
Rector.
You covered up. Yeah.
Barely lower. Okay.
Well, welcome. I'm good, man. It's been a week. It's been another fun week. And we're back. So
it's certainly been one of the weeks of 2023.
It's a 1 week, yeah. Director is only higher than producer in Colorado. That's a good one. That was a good one.
All right.
That guy 3D prints. Just got my first 3D printer on Thursday and have been using it so much thanks to your how to start 3D printing video to help me a lot.
Nice.
Awesome. That is awesome. Well, I'm hoping you're loving it, and welcome to the world of 3D printing.
So if that guy just got his 3D printer on Thursday, then he was only officially that guy 3D prints on Thursday.
There you go. Before that, he was that guy didn't 3D print yet.
Before that, he was just that guy. Or that guy prints. Maybe
Before
he prints other things.
There you go. Yeah, maybe he prints stuff or something.
Yeah, I got an inkjet HP back here.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the community. I hope you love it, and I hope you're, pumping out some awesome stuff. I'm looking around on my desk. I was like, probably said pumping out some awesome stuff. I don't have anything awesome to show on my desk right now. So there's
that. Speaking of pumping out awesome stuff, quick side note, huge thank you to thank you to Joel Telling. He reached out. I made that post on Twitter saying like, hey, I'm still working on fixing my Anycubic machines, but both the wash and cure that you had sent and the actual resin printer haven't been working since the storm, and I'm pretty sure it's shorting. There were shorts on the board due to water damage, and then there's some other broken components due to one of them falling and all this stuff. So I was like, man, Anycubic is great. They're sending me replacement parts, but there's always something new to fix. And it's just taking forever, and they're in China, so it takes up to a month sometimes to actually get the replacement parts. They're not doing anything wrong. I was just like, I kind of want to get up and running with resin printing again. And Joel was like, I got you. So he, hang on.
Uh-oh. I don't know what just happened. Oh, I see. A window opened or something. That was awesome.
I got all my nice fancy lighting set up here. And the lights are motion and sound detected in this office. So
and you moved your arms. You're like, and the lights came on.
There's a few foot. If I just if I roll my chair out a few feet, lights will kick on. So I got to be careful.
Nice. Hey Google, turn lights on. No.
I'm wearing. Hey Jim, it's a little dark in there.
It's a little dark. Yeah.
Do you have your headphones in?
Yeah, I have my headphones in.
Oh, dang it. I was going to tell Google to do things.
See this? Nothing back there now, everybody.
What happened?
I told Google to turn the lights off, and it turned all of them off.
Oh, jeez.
Except for this one. I don't have that one on a switch yet.
Okay.
That was phenomenal. All right. We got lots of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Links in the description below if you want to check out the HotMakes this week. Episode 150. Woo! 150, man. 150.
I know. And I came on what, 32, I think? I've been around for a while on here, and you've been here for 30 some odd episodes before that. So you're you're on episode 200 something.
I am. I did 32 episodes before HotMakes started. Of the different show. Real quick, Ethan's dad Marcus says refresh if you don't see the video. Hey, hopefully you see the video. I'm not sure what's up there, but do that, refresh and all that.
Refresh.
Here you go. Let me just fix this because I'm a genius, and I was like, I'm gonna mess with everybody, and it backfired with karma.
There we go.
Turned all my lights off. But yeah, we got the links on episode 150. Don't forget we're monetized now, so that's cool. So anything you shoot over, if you don't feel like hitting a PayPal, you can always do like super stickers, that kind of stuff. And yeah, we're rocking. We got an amazing guest. You know him as HueForge. We know him as
I'm excited.
That guy from HueForge that 3D prints.
Steve.
I love it.
Steve.
So that's going to be a lot of fun, and yeah,
I'm excited.
It's a fun show, and someone says 11 days till Murph. OMG.
Are you serious?
That's what someone just said. I'm looking at the calendar, and he
is.
Whoever that was right. I can't believe it. It's already coming up.
Wow.
That means I probably should. I don't know. Get a place to stay.
Yeah, you probably should
throw it out there.
You probably
should. We'll be there. Well, at least I'm not sure who's coming. We're going to be there. I know the crowd is going to be a little.
Fix some dude.
It's going to be a little. Whoa, $10.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, the crowd will be thin, but it'll be fun though. I'm excited. I hope they get a really good like public crowd coming in. That'd be awesome.
What is CD fam?
Thank you so much, Fix Some Dude. CD fam on Wednesday. I'm not sure what that is.
Me either.
Maybe they still listen to CDs. Throw it out there. Zombie Hedgehog. Who is
my
that?
middle name starts with a D, so my the sticker Zombie Hedgehog sticker is a hot dog.
Zombie Hedgehog. Thank you for the super hot dog sticker. 11 days, about 3 sleeps. It'll be a full house.
Only 3. Is she saying there's only 3 sleeps in 11 days?
I don't know. Earth is September 30th. Yeah, it's the end of September this year. So, all right, I tell you what, we've been babbling for 9 minutes. I think we should bring our guest right in. What do you think?
I think we should too. Let's do it.
Do it,
ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Steve HueForge himself. How you doing, man?
Hey guys,
what's up?
I'm good. How are you?
So, I keep catching myself, and I'm sure you probably hear this a few times. I keep wanting to say HueForge. Do you get that?
No, I've never heard that.
Oh, it's another 3D printing related tool.
Oh, right.
H and ends with Forge. It's for making D&D miniatures. So I keep saying, "Oh, we're gonna have HueForge." I was telling my friends, like, "Yeah, we're having HueForge on," and then they were like, "What?" And I'm like, "No, HueForge." And they were like, "Oh, okay, that's cool too."
I think I do remember HueForge from back when I first started printing, and I could never get them to print because they weren't that easy.
No.
So.
They're also kind of
a couple weeks ago. I can't remember, maybe like 3 weeks. I can't remember how many weeks ago it was. Someone tagged your stuff and we started talking about it. And I was like, we need to get this. I think it was when
it was Filament Stories.
Filament Stories was on, right?
Yeah.
And Caleb won't remember this one, but that was a good one. But anyways, we saw your stuff. We were like, what is this? We need to know what this is. We need to get this on. Zombie Hedgehog. Oh man. And here's an example. Like, let's just throw it out there real quick. This is 3D printed. All right. So we saw something and we're like, what?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know that I think we looked at it when it was an episode that I was on too, because I remember having my mind blown when I looked at this, or maybe when I think I was watching the replay, maybe. But I remember because Steve, you reached out to me or the HotMakes account on Twitter. I think it was me.
I reached out to Jim.
He reached out to me, and I was like, "We got to get Caleb involved. Let's get him." And then,
and then I reached out, or you reached out to me. I think last week,
So, before we get too far, who are you? What do you do? And then we're gonna dive like headfirst into this because we need to check this out.
Okay, my name's Steve. I'm a dad who works a day job as a developer, and I started making color lithophanes at home, and it was really hard to do layer-wise. I wasn't doing CMYK because I don't have an AMS or an MMU, and I didn't want to do 16 swaps, but I wanted the cool color lithophanes. So I started writing this tool. I have a little bit of graphics background. Started writing this tool, using it for that. And I think it was around January. It was either December or January. Ran into Ian, and he was doing it the other way around. He was doing front lit stuff, and I said, I'm close enough. I think I can make that work. And started doing that too. And then that ended up being the cooler thing because everyone's seen color lithophanes multiple different ways, but no one's really done very much with, let me blend your filaments from the front and make a cool image that way.
It is so cool.
It is
Doing things different.
So let's start there. What you're doing is explain what you're doing. You're blending filaments, you said, from the front?
Yeah. So, every filament, well, I mean, even black, but every filament is a little bit translucent. It looks solid on the spool. Well, some of them don't even look solid on the spool. I'm not even talking about transparency, but some of the regular colors don't even look solid on the spool. Sure. But when you start printing them, especially at thin layer heights, they're not at all opaque. They're very, very see-through.
Yeah.
And now black is mostly opaque. I think you can only go 0.3 to 0.6 of a millimeter and it'll be solid.
Wow.
But other ones like yellows and whites and some reds will go 7 or 8 millimeters before they don't let light go through anymore. And so normally we see this as an annoyance. I did that multicolor thing, and I wanted it to be white and it's pink because I didn't put enough layers of white on top, that kind of thing. But it actually is an opportunity to make a whole lot more colors than we have and a whole lot more shades than we have without having to swap filaments a bunch of times. That's
awesome.
Yeah. So
I don't know how I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around it, honestly.
That's where I was like, that's where I was going. Can you explain the process? Like, I know you're sharing a screen, but like when you're going through a design, you guys kind of wrote something to help an image, right? Like, so I could take an image and make it do this.
Yeah. So I started actually with lithophanes coming off of It's Litho. It's a great tool for making lithophanes. And I started with those, but and was working with those when I was doing color. I have a color one here.
Oh boy.
You won't, it's not lit, but you can see that it's just layers.
Sure.
That's so cool though.
Colors. Let me see if I have a light here. You can see. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's so cool.
So I was doing that. I was not trying to do, but it's the same idea. The issue is that the colors blend. They don't blend the way we think they do. We see it with a lithophane. You say, oh, okay, you're going to shoot light through it. And of course, some light's going to get through and the colors are going to carry through. And that's kind of mentally, that's the easy way to go. The hard thing for me was it's really slow in the slicer to change the layers. And it's not always obvious how thick you need each color to be to get a good image. And so I started trying to quantify that. And so I made little test samples that I would print out and quantify that. And that's where the idea of what I called transmissivity, but I've changed to transmission distance because I found out that one word is harder to say than two for a lot of people. I have no trouble saying it, but tons of people do. So I said, let's just forget about it. It's transmission distance. The distance that light will transmit through a filament was that was the feature that mattered.
Okay.
The color matters too, obviously, but the distance that it travels through is what mattered the most for making good, reliable, repeatable color lithophanes. And then when I started talking to Ian, he was doing it the other way around. And I said, well, I think the same color blending will work, but it's going to be scaled differently because I'm not shooting light through it. And so we had to work. I think it took us 3 or 4 days to get the color just right. Like the blending right. Yeah. I think it took us 2 or 3 days, maybe back and forth, or 2 or 3 working like back and forth days, getting it right between us. And he was great because he'd been doing it in his head, in the slicer, just sitting there saying, I know that this gray is kind of going to let this much light through and I need this many layers, and doing that all in his head in the slicer, which was taking him hours. So I would send him a build and he'd say, yeah, this isn't right. I need to cut my values in half. And I'm like, okay, let me try something else. And I really wanted to use the same values. So we were able to work that out and get that working.
Okay.
So.
And then somehow HueForge was born.
I mean, it basically, we just added this. I added that front lit. I added front lit to the software. It was still the color lithophane builder at this time. My very, very unique name. It wasn't until I went on a 17-hour car ride with a family and more people were getting interested in it that I said, I can't keep calling it the color lithophane builder. Can we rename it something?
Yeah.
And we came up with HueForge.
So what's the difference between backlit and front lit?
So in general, the real only difference in the way you generate the model is you use the actual height map. So lithophanes, remember early in lithophane software, you always had to click the negative button until they finally were like, everyone has to do it negative. So just set it to negative for you automatically.
Okay.
So the frontlets are just take off the negative. So the brighter the color, the higher it is, and the darker the color, the lower it is, because they're generally all working on luminance. And I'm working on luminance too. I just have a lot more options on how to adjust your luminance and how to adjust the luminance curve and the color division between the luminance than the typical ones. And it's faster because it's all happening in real time on local software rather than having to go to your options page, change your options, go back to the page, say, I don't even know if that looks very different. Let me go, go back and forth. It was very hard to track. But yeah, that's one of I started calling it a front lit lithophane. And people very quickly told me I was wrong.
What?
Because
lithophanes aren't lit from the front.
We're coming up with new processes here, though. It's uncharted territory.
But I will say that. But for one, the first time it happened in a Reddit thread, and I was there for it because I'm like, you're just commenting more on my image, so I'm just getting more attention in the Reddit algorithm. So I really don't care that everyone feels like the need to correct me on the lithophane thing.
No such thing as bad press.
But I did think, I've always thought it was kind of more like a traditional painting or printing process. And so that's when someone asked me a couple weeks ago, what do you call it? I said, you know what? I'm calling it filament painting because that's kind of the closest analog to what it is. And
it's very, it's a very unique term too. Because when you hear it, you're like, what? What does that mean? Because I don't know. I feel like
if there's anything we know about the internet, someone will call you out about everything. So whatever.
I'm sorry. Did you just say someone? Someone?
Yes.
I want Jim to try pronouncing the transmissivity word.
Transmissivity?
Transmissivity.
Look at that.
You got it.
What's wrong with that?
Because Ed C says you have problems with every word. So he just.
I love it. So we've been talking a lot about it. Can you walk us through, how does it work?
I feel like it's going to make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
You all right with me popping it up?
Yeah.
I'm
just going to look at the screen over
that guy 3D prints. I know the chat will be more than happy to help you with some questions. We can maybe address them towards the end, but if you guys want to help them out while we're talking, that would be awesome.
Ooh, I actually just answered this question for a friend today in a pretty long. So I'll see if I can get hold of them.
All right,
let's do this. I'm excited.
I know.
All right,
me too.
So this is what HueForge looks like when you launch into it. It does have a light mode and a dark mode, but we all know that only heathens use light mode. So actually, my daughter was like, "It looks so unprofessional in light mode," and I'm like, "Fine, I'll figure out how to implement dark mode."
Sarah uses light mode on Facebook and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know how you're staring at the surface of the sun. I don't know what you're doing.
So on the left is your filament library. On the right is your images. Your far right is the source image that I'm using, and I've clipped the outside of this so it's transparent background. It doesn't have to be, but for this one, it's transparent. That's been the most popular style. So in here, I'm looking at that transparency data and just chopping out the stuff that's transparent and making it 0 height. And here I've assigned a color set to here. So these sliders do not need to be in order from left to right. It's their order from top to bottom. So we have black at the bottom here, and then we have a dark gray. And if I bring the dark gray up, you see the dark gray start climbing up her body. And now here it's got weird, right? That's because it flipped over the light gray, and now it's all light gray in between here. So it's what the order vertically of the sliders are. And
so on the right is the image that you imported.
Correct. Right is the image I imported,
and the left is the image that you're modifying for that represents closely, more closely represents what it's going to look like when it's printed.
This is actually the STL. It's the model file, so I can show you that. I can zoom
so this is being done in real time.
Yep, this is on the model.
What?
This is the mesh.
That just blew my mind.
You ever see that guy on TikTok?
Yeah.
Anyways.
So I generate the mesh, and then because I have to generate the mesh to know what the blending is going to be at individual heights. If I don't generate the mesh first, I can't tell you what the blending is going to be at a particular height. All the model generations done in the GPU. We did get it working on embedded GPUs, so the Intel Iris Xe will work, and the AMD embeddeds work. You might have some mesh size limitations, but they work. And then, but now let's say, she's orange. This is gray. Grayscale is always easy. Orange is harder. But you can change color pit. You can change your color hue by bringing in other colors. So I can just adjust. I preloaded these sliders, but I can bring colors in and choose where I want to put them. I can bring in, if I wanted a little bit of a blue hint to it. Oh, there's Nick. Hi, Nick. I could give her a blue hue. I also have this idea of sets. So filament sets, so I can swap over to this one, which is a little bit more like the source image. A little bit.
So this is where I start getting super confused. Where's the color coming from?
Okay, so these sliders at the bottom represent filaments that I own.
Right.
So this is my list of filaments, right?
Okay, so you know that you have like an orange in there.
Right, I have an orange right here, the Polymaker orange.
Got it.
And I'm kind of a weird person that I like all these colors, but then I'm like, I can't use it because it's too opaque, or most of the problem is too opaque. Really translucent stuff I kind of like, but if there's limits. But
interesting. Okay.
So yeah, so I said, okay, I'm gonna put black at the back, and most blacks are blacks. It doesn't really matter. Then I'm gonna put a brown here to give like a brown shadow to go with a red rather than a gray shadow. The gray shadow is fine. Okay. I can do a gray shadow, but I just like the look.
You just click and drag the color to the slider.
Drag and drop the color.
Oh, okay. That's where I wasn't clicking. Okay.
I can also set the filament from here.
Yeah, but the fact that you have the UI to just click and drag is even cooler.
Yeah. So
that's polished.
And then then I have my red here, and the red I can adjust. And I'm mouse wheeling the slider. Once you get close, it's best to mouse wheel the sliders. Otherwise, you overshoot.
Yeah.
So mouse wheels one layer at a time. Oh. And each one of these ticks on here is one layer. My layers are defined up here. So this is 0.08 layers, and my first layer is 0.16. That doesn't actually change things here. It's more for the slicer. I do 0.16 because it's way easier to print a first layer at 0.16 than at 08.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I can adjust, you can tweak any of these values you want here and these layers. So I'm just sliding them around. And then actually, if you bring the white down right now, it's set to adjust the mesh as well. You don't have to. That's an option over here. But so basically, you just have your options. You can bring in whatever color scheme you want. I can do.
And how many colors can you go up to? Do you have there?
I have 16 sliders right now.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I don't normally do more than 5 or 6. And
have you tested all 16? I'm assuming.
I mean, So that's an important thing to say. It is not a slicer. It is making a model, and it will give you a description of what you want to do for layer swaps. And say, give your layer till this layer number at this height, and then your swap. And these numbers are what you'd put into Prusa Slicer or Bamboo Studio. They are so technically it's the next layer. It's the layer because in Bamboo Studio, whatever, you go to the first layer of the new color and say swap here. So that's what these numbers are. They're exact matches for that. So you'd say, you just go into your Prusa Slicer Bamboo Studio. You can do it in Cura. It's a lot harder. And you say, okay, go to layer 4 or 0.4 millimeters. Go to layer 8, add a swap. Then go to layer 5, add a swap. Go to layer 9, add a swap. And you do that in your slicer. And then as long as your layer heights and your base layers are right, and it's always good to check your millimeters against it, then you'll get the swaps at these locations that you need.
That's awesome.
That match up with the sliders.
Wow.
So there's not really a way for 16 colors to not work in terms of it's just giving you layer heights to swap at. So you just would need to set the swaps up right.
So to clarify it for Zombie Hedgehog, he's not using any AMS, any color swapping except for swapping the filament out at a layer. So anybody could do this.
Anyone could do this. But Zombie's kind of humble bragging that he's got more AMS units coming.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I have enough to do 16, but I haven't played with that too much yet. I'm more curious about, like, I could take any printer I want and do this, and that is amazing. Now it'll get probably done faster on my Bamboo Lab printers, but if I wanted to take this massive 500 rat rig here, and do it here and make a huge picture, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely massive. Yep, yeah. And I will say that lithophanes and this software will do lithophanes. I've got it set for filament painting here, but it will absolutely do a lithophane for you. I could switch the sliders are a little wonky when you switch. So you kind of just want to sit in one or the other. This is kind of hard to fix, but it will work well enough for this. Let me turn off the transparent background. And then, you know, we would, oh, hold on.
I see what you're saying though. Yeah. There you go.
So now we can make it, this could be backlit now. And you could say, okay, so it's black all around the edges and you just have the red and, you know, you have, so that would be more of a traditional lithophane. Again, by layer height, swaps at layer heights. You're still only swapping 1, 2, 3, 4 times for 5 colors in here. So it does both, but I will say that it uses a lot more filament to do lithophanes because you need to be a lot thicker to get it, to get the stuff you want. So
that's cool.
This tends to work a bit better. Let me
just watching where you're checking on this. So I mean, you could pretty much take a picture, drop it in, bring your colors down to the bottom, and then start messing around and get it to where you think it's, you know, where you want it, right on the left side there. And then once you get it where you want it, it gives you an STL file, right?
You save the project, get an STL file and a description, and the text that I showed you in that pop-up.
Perfect. That was my next one. Does that get saved as well?
As a text file. That's a new change, but yes. And actually it gets copied to your clipboard, so you can paste it into something. I did that specifically to paste stuff to printables and stuff. So you can.
That's awesome.
It actually gets copied regardless of whether you hit the copy button or not, but everyone gets confused if I don't make you hit the copy button and forgets that it's already there.
How long have you been working on this?
I started in October of 2022. But I didn't actually really start doing the frontlit stuff until, as I said, like January.
And how big is your team working on that? Like, do you have people working with you?
It's me. I read all the code. And then I have testers, and I have Ian, who's been testing and helping me a lot and knows
this is crazy
how to make crazy good images. That, you know, like that first image you showed of the fish, that's Ian, and he just makes me look good. He makes my software look even better than I can. So I'm all for that. But he does great work on it. And there are limitations. You can't make every image work in HueForge. Parts of it is because I am not doing multi swaps per layer. You know, you can't make certain color combinations. Ironically, you can't make the HueForge logo work. It won't have it up here now. You can't make that work because it's got CMYK in it, basically, and I can't hit all of those colors in one model. And it's still not color aware. I'm working on this. This is a post-release thing that I want to do, which is to be able to basically say, hey, for this set of colors, use this height. It's still all luminance based right now. So you'll get things where if like the eye color is too close to some other color in luminance, it'll be the same color. There's no way to separate it. So there's issues with that. And of course you have to play around. There's a whole bunch of sliders and widgets over here I'm not even talking about today.
Yeah.
That are super powerful.
Skipping a whole control panel.
I can change how the lighting is calculated. This is one of the things that I work on that's kind of different from the other lithophane makers. I can change how the luminance curve works. I can change what the max depth is. I don't know if you saw Taylor Swift. I did the Taylor Swift black and white photo because someone challenged me to do it online. And I had to bring it down. It was 2 colors. It looks like a black and white photo, but it had to bring it down to less than 1 millimeter because it didn't work otherwise. So that one was fun, but it was like, I was surprised. I was trying to do it in 4 color grayscale and it wasn't looking good. And then I finally brought it down to 1 or 2 colors and just shrunk it really thin, and then it worked. So,
well, now I'm trying to find T Swift here.
You can look on the Hue. It's on your Twitter.
All the links.
It is
all the
Twitter.
Links to the HueForge stuff are in
I found
the
it.
description of the video too.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah. Here. Boom. Sick.
Okay.
That's sick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that looks like it's still on the bed too.
It is still on the bed. That was partially like, hey, let me prove to you that this was printed. It's still on the bed. Because that was, early on, it was like, can I prove to you this is a printed item?
So what'd you have to do to make that happen?
To make Taylor Swift happen?
Yeah, you said you had to change.
I had
the photo. Yeah.
I mean, I'm responsible for Taylor Swift. We all know that.
You heard it here first.
Here. I'll bring Taylor Swift in. And it's also drag and drop into here. That actually doesn't look that bad. But so what I did was I just brought all those down except for black and white. And then I brought it down to 0.9. And then I think it was standard probably. What is that? Oh, actually, I needed to go down in layer height. So I have a switch wire clone, an Ender switch wire.
Sure.
That so that runs at 0.5. So I did that. There you go.
Nice.
Taylor Swift.
Check that out.
That's in 2 colors.
Identical.
One swap. Yeah, one swap.
Wow.
Though there are things that won't work.
I'm gonna have to mess with this in order to fully understand it. I think.
Well, you got to print. You got to print some of the models. You got to go on printables and print some of the models.
Yeah.
And what everyone says is, you know, I thought it wasn't going to work. There's always that point. I remember asking Ian the first time I started printing one, my first test one. I said, "Is there a point where you look at it and you think this is never going to work?" And he says, "Every single time." So just expect that in the middle, you're like, it's not going to work. But it really does matter here. Like you couldn't use, if I tried to use this white, so I have 2 different whites in here and they matter because if I tried to use this white, she'd be all blown out. You'd get much of it, but it's because this white here lets a lot more light through than that white up top.
Okay. So when you put your filaments in your library here, you've got to be very specific with what features they have.
Yeah. So I will say that the color is important, but it's less important that you get the color right.
How do
the color can be close. So
2 questions. How do you determine that? Or are you doing that testing there and putting filament options in the software?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So I had a little test swatch. I have them sitting right here. So I printed these.
Ethan's dad has a great point. The software is going to sell filament.
Yeah, and
Nick, are you listening?
Polymaker knows that. Actually, Polymaker is well aware.
Nice. That's cool. Okay, so you've got test swatches here where you can see different depths.
I made those test swatches, and they're good, but they only go to 4 millimeters, and they take an hour to print, and they're solid. Because you have to go at 0.1 millimeter layer height or 0.12 scale. So then I came up with this. I call it the Filoscope, and I have these little discs that I print. And then that does not like being that bright. I have these discs I print, and the discs are at 4 millimeters, 3 millimeters, 2 millimeters, 1 millimeter, and half a millimeter. Well, it's 0.6 when you print it. You print them at 0.2 millimeter layer height, and then you just drop them in, and then look at a light bulb or look at a light with them and see when you stop seeing light, more or less. It's a little bit trickier than that, and actually. Distributed Medic is working with Polymaker to go through all their filaments, and he got an actual filament. He actually got a luminance scope or luminance sensor and a calibrated light, and he's starting to shoot them and get me numbers for Polymaker.
Nice.
So we're hoping
that's amazing. So you're hoping to have a full library built into the software or available to download for.
Yeah, probably not at release because I'm planning to release Wednesday or Thursday this week. So I don't think it's going to be in. That's my big announcement. Wednesday or Thursday this week.
There it is.
I don't know that we're going to have that
Surprise.
library in then, but it's going to be very, very easy to update and add the libraries. The big thing is I realize you don't want everybody's filament in the world in your active library. And I don't have a 2-tier library system yet. I need to put that in.
Sure.
Where you can say, okay, I've loaded a bunch of libraries and now I have these filaments and pull them into your library. And then those go into this library that you see right here.
Okay. So you can, would you have libraries by manufacturer and then you can pick and choose which colors you have?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And then potentially even say, I need a color like this. You go into your thing and you say, I bring this slider up and I say, well, I really need a new filament. I need it to be, red, but I need it to be really opaque.
Will that match will that give you the closest match to what's in the library? So it'll tell you, oh, you need Polymaker this color.
Well, then I would say you'd test this, and at some point you right click. There'd be another menu that says find filament and see if someone in your library has it. Because that'll be great for everybody.
I love it.
That's not in yet, but that's what I'm working towards. So
this is so cool. Filament companies are probably creaming their jeans right now over this.
Well, mostly I'm talking to Polymaker.
Speaking of Nick, he likes the idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Protopasta has reached out to me. I've heard Filamentum wants to talk to me, but they haven't yet. And
reach out to maybe talk to Cookie Cat too, because they've got some very unique setups too.
They have a lot of really shiny colors though, and a lot of color changing colors, and those they can work. So actually, here's the thing that surprised me is the number of people who have made really good versions of my prints with filaments that I didn't think would work. So like the cameo print, I'm like, okay, you really, really need this white that's really transmissive. And people are like, yeah, well, I got this white, so I'm going to print with it. And it looked great. Or, hey, I'm going to try a gold shiny on it. And, oh, it actually looks pretty good. So, I'm looking at it saying, I really think this is going to be best this way. But the number of things people have tried out and that have worked relatively well. And then there's some things where I look at it, but I'm like, it's not so great. They're like, I'm so happy with it. I'm like, okay, great. I'm really glad you're happy with it.
The best.
Yeah, as a base. Yeah, sure. Yeah. As a base or low layers, they're fine because you're not really trying to get too much of that blended. Yeah, so it's gonna be good there.
The best print and filament you have is the one that you did with the filament you have. So I mean, like. It's awesome that you're going to have the libraries. There's some really good questions. Can we
ask a couple of those real quick?
Absolutely. Yeah, sure. By the way, Fix some dude in Zombie Hedgehog. Thank you so much for your donations. Yes, we really appreciate that. Guy Lanzone says, when and where is the software available?
You already said when. This Thursday
or Wednesday.
It's going to be on the Horn and Rody Art Shopify store. There should have a link, I think, down below. It's not there yet.
Let me pull that up.
Or at least see your.
Right now it's all model files. Right now it's all model files, but it is coming there. That's my deployment platform, and I will notify first on. So I was doing a bunch of stage top stuff. Those chessboards, by the way, are HueForge chessboards. If you go look at those, scroll down a little bit. Those.
Oh, cool.
Those tiles were made by like the middle two and the bottom. Those tiles were made in HueForge. The marble effect is.
That's ridiculous.
So
are you kidding me?
This.
So you can do faux materials. You can do D&D tiles. It'll let you color existing. It will let you color existing geometry. So this is like a stone.
Sick. So you'll be able to do terrain.
Yeah, this would be fantastic for instead of printing D&D like terrain and building and layouts and stuff.
Yep. So without having images, those are the images they're based on. I actually didn't have tile images at the time. I had someone who asked me for it, and I said, "Okay, here's your images of your tiles, what they're going to look like," and then he printed that. So this is his board that he made from.
Thank you, Liz. What's the super sticker? It's a banana.
Thank you.
So the question. I saw the question run by on pricing for a personal use license for early. So this is early access we're going into, and for early adopters, I'm going to offer it for $12. For personal use.
That's awesome.
And that is a lifetime use license, but after 2 years, you'll stop getting updates or bug fixes. But I think that's pretty fair. And then for limited commercial, again, these are all early access, like that, because you're adopting it when it is going to be buggy and have issues. It's going to be $30 a year for limited commercial. That's you can sell printed models. Mm-hmm. Full commercial or professional is going to be $80 a year, where you can sell the STL files as well.
Okay.
And then lifetime is $175. That also includes the same provision that after 2 years, you'll keep all your commercial rights and you'll keep the right to use the software, but you stop getting updates unless you pay the limited commercial fee annually.
Got it.
But there's no immediate. You don't have to, like, if you're like, actually, I'm great, I don't need it. There's no like catch up fee or anything. It'll just be like whenever you decide you want a bug fix for a new feature, you pick it up.
So how do we get early access? Like you said, early adopters is
this is the early access. So like this release, so like in the first month, it's going to be much cheaper.
So what you're releasing on Wednesday or Thursday of this week is the early access, and then like the actual like big public is going to be a month or so later.
I mean, anyone can get in now. Who's paying attention and knows it exists, but as features
64 people right now are going to know that it's happening.
But basically, as new features come in, as it becomes more stable, and I'm pretty confident that the major bugs are out, and all the because I'm sure I've been running into shader issues as I have more people test it, been fixing those. But I'm sure I'm going to run into people who are like, it just doesn't work on my machine, and we'll have to work through that. So once I get past that stage, the prices will go up. Because
Greg's Maker Corner points out that's so cheap. Yeah, you're rolling in hard there.
I know also, to be fair, to be totally honest, 3D printing is super viral. And if I get a bunch of early adopters who start kicking out models, I'm going to get a lot more people interested in the software than if I try to make a ton of, make as much money as I can per license early on. And you're going to go through teething pains. Oh, the other thing is that, you have a lifetime license, Ian. He is actually, I promised him a lifetime license #1. So, because of all the help he's given me.
That's
and yes,
amazing.
so Polymaker is in the US and Canada, they are going to issue coupons for their filament equal to the purchase price at whatever tier you buy. So if you buy, yes, that's what Nick said. So if you buy $12, you get $12 of filament from the Polymaker store in the US and Canada. If you buy $30, you get 30, whatever. So he's basically saying it's free for you after filament, and you're going to want filament anyway.
Wait.
That's amazing. Polymaker is just constantly throwing things at which, by the way, Nick, I'm still going to end up using that coupon. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
So you gotta have a house before you can order all the.
Anyways, that's the thing. I don't want to order a bunch of filament and then have it just sitting around.
But let me get this straight. I jump in here Thursday or whatever day it is, right? I say I'm going to do the 175 lifetime license.
Mm-hmm.
Polymaker is like, here's $175 for filament.
That is what Nick said.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Come on, Nick. I love it. And I'm in,
amazing.
by the way.
I love that.
I cannot. I can't wait to start playing with this.
This is so cool.
And
I'm excited for everyone to start playing with it. The biggest,
yes, sir.
The biggest thing I'm worried about is that it isn't intuitive to the process itself. The whole idea isn't intuitive. And I want people to have a good experience. So I'm working on the tutorials. That's basically what I'm working on, is tutorial videos, so that they can end up, that we can, people can get in, hop in, and know how to go, do it.
So they need to go to your Shopify and watch Wednesday, Thursday, sometime this week.
Mm-hmm. So I will announce.
Greg's Maker Corner asked where the link is, where his link to the Shopify. Oh, Jim just pumped it in the chat. And also all of the links to the HueForge stuff is in the description of this video.
And I will announce first on my Substack, because I promised my Substack I would announce first there.
Cool.
When it's released. But then, a couple hours later, I'll be on Twitter and everything. So.
What are you going to do about new feature? If you introduce new features in the future, is that just going to be an immediate release, or are you going to have early testers through a Patreon or something? Or
anyone at a subscription tier or lifetime tier gets to be my beta testers for new features.
Excellent. Okay.
So if you're at the 30, 80, or 275 tier, you're my testers. You get early access. I do not have current plans to not eventually release everything to everybody, but at the moment. Basically, you'll just be delayed. You'll get it when I feel like it's stable and everyone's happy with how it works.
I feel like this one comment is worth it.
Yeah. So you're saying is you're not going to creality us.
Correct.
Just toss stuff out there a bunch and it's not going to work. And
did I say bug fixes will go out right away. So if I have a bug fix, if they're like, oh, it's
okay. So you're definitely not going to creality it, is what
correct.
You're saying.
You must have the professional, ultra amazing God tier subscription or above in order to get your bugs fixed.
Yeah.
No, only after 2 years. Only after 2 years.
Yeah. So I jump in. I do a lifetime. I'm good. Done.
You're good. The only thing you would have to pay again is if in 2 years you want bug fixes or software updates. If I come up with an amazing, awesome feature in 2 years, you don't have to pay lifetime again.
Even with the
you
lifetime
commercial. You pay commercial or limited commercial.
Similarity being kind of like what Simplify 3D did, where it was a one-time fee for the software and they kept releasing new updates. But once they went a whole version number newer, they were just you got to buy a new. But you're being upfront about it, at least, because they kind of threw that at us.
And actually, it was because several people who wanted to buy Lifetime said, I think you should probably only give us updates for a couple years. And I said, well, if my people who want to buy Lifetime are saying that I should do that, I probably should think about doing that.
Yeah.
So
interesting. Okay.
That's awesome.
And that's actually at my option. So if something happens and I don't need the continued income, or I don't need you to be paying more. Like, if there's some options I have there, then I wouldn't charge it. But it's at my option that in the license is at my option in 2 years to stop giving you new updates.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I like the DaVinci Resolve method. I mean, you pay for it once and you're rocking it. And no, I'm super pumped for you, man. I think that early adopters, you're gonna have a bunch. I think you're gonna have a bunch of people throwing models and videos out, and that'll bring in new people. And I'm really happy that you're actually taking the time to dial this in and get it ready for people.
Oh yeah,
because I mean, like, I want to play with this right now.
I know.
And I'm gonna need your tutorials because we just saw 10 minutes of you playing with the software. But once we dive in, we're gonna be like, what is this? Like, I mean,
and I'm sure Jim will be up for making some tutorial videos on that too, like he's done for Lightburn and stuff.
Yeah,
just saying.
Ooh, Ed has a good one. I am down for that, by the way. I'm ready. If I go to your website and buy the marble tile, can I use it now? And
absolutely.
Don't need your software. Oh, okay.
Absolutely. Cool. You can 100% use it now. Those were made for people who asked. You said, "Hey, I want to be able to print a chessboard," and I said, "Here's the files." It's just like the printable files. It tells you, "Here's the model. Here's the layer swaps to do. What colors to swap to, and
so cool.
Go." So, yep. Oh, this is how the conversation with Lightburn started. I said, "Do you want to have some things?" And actually, I think probably it will make sense to have some sets because this doesn't use very much filament. Black, white, gray, you use a lot of that, but for a lot of the filaments, you don't use that much. And those 250 gram spools that everyone hates start becoming interesting.
Yeah. Or those samples.
The samples that are still sitting in the vacuum packs from last year's Murph.
I literally have a box.
So, Zombie and Liz have been kind enough to agree to represent HueForge, at least with models and some information at Murph, but I won't be at Murph, but I will be at Earth.
I don't know that I've met Liz in person. So I know we've met Zombie at Rocky Mountain.
Yeah,
well, she's from the Great White North. So
Liz, Liz was at Earth last year, but I don't think you were there.
No.
But I have an idea. Someday. Let's talk because I'm going to be at Murph with a table as well. And I could bring down one of my bamboo printers and just rock. Or no, I'm not doing this one.
Greg, it doesn't matter what size your filament is. It doesn't actually even matter that much what size your nozzle is, as long as you're not trying to print small. So, this is my first cameo I printed.
Well, let's check that out.
I can't
see. That's the one that I saw that I lost my mind over.
This one is the first one I printed. I printed
it straight up a Renaissance relief sculpture.
I printed this with a 0.6 millimeter nozzle at 0.04 millimeter layer height. So that's why it's kind of messy. This is the one I printed at 0.2 millimeter nozzle and 0.05 millimeter layer height. So it's cleaner. It's cleaner, but you can print with the bigger ones, and like the Spacemen and things like that. They're perfect for a 0.6 or the 0.4s are actually really nice. The bamboo 0.4 has been doing great. That's Ian's printing all of his stuff on the 0.4.
Really? And what layer height?
0.08. He does 0.08.
Okay.
He doesn't go lower.
That's awesome.
And he just keeps I'll always ask him. I'll be like, "That's like 4 colors, 5 colors." He'll be like, "No, it's 7." That's why it's so smooth. That's why it's so clean, and the transitions are so good. But
we're running low on time, and we have more questions that I did want to get through at least quickly. Yes. This is one of them.
Okay.
Are you going to have it for Mac at some point?
That is the plan post release, Linux and Mac as well. But I had to focus Windows, which I'm developing on for now. Linux will probably be easier and faster, and Mac will take me a little bit more time. But I've developed it in such a way that it should port pretty straight to Mac. I just need to get a platform to build on.
And then Geek Toybox was saying working with Filament Colors or the Filament Librarian or even Filament Stories. Have you talked about working with some of the people who are already kind of collecting libraries?
So I sent a note to Filament Librarian. He was just too busy to really get back to me much, but he did say that due to API issues on the website, he can't add transmission values on the website or transmission distances on the website. But he was interested in talking. And then Filament Stories said she was interested in talking, but I haven't had a chance to connect with her yet.
Speaking of talking, Justin says he knows Ivana at Filamentum if you want to get in touch with him.
Yeah, she said Britt said that she wanted to get in contact with me. I just haven't heard from her yet.
Cool.
Nice.
And then Fat Boy, what'd you call me? Glow in the dark UV reactive, which also opens up.
Did that. He did that with the Cameo. I think it's on the Discord at Polymaker, but he did that with the Cameo, and it looks good black and white, or it looks good front lit, and it looks good glowing. It's actually pretty incredible.
That's awesome. So that answers my other question then, is like, does it have to all be one? Like, you can swap multiple materials with different, because it's up to the slicer to set your material like temperatures, settings, and stuff.
Sure. So, I mean, like, I don't switch those, but I use all PETG because the PETG and PLA will pull apart and things
that's
like
what
that.
Yeah, that's what I was concerned about.
Yeah, so I would suggest you stick with one filament type per
Good idea.
model. But if you have the colors you want in PETG for this model and the colors you want in PLA for this model, then go that way. I print all mine in PETG right now because that's just what I print all the time. But that's the transmissivity or the transmission distances have not been that different between the two.
Okay.
Nice.
Noted.
And Matt had one more question.
Yeah.
Will you do a USB drive where I can take it from computer to computer? I
have a post on this. My idea of a license is it's a household license. All the computers you want in your house. And if it's like a mom and pop business, you can both use it. But if you've got multiple people in a household working for different businesses, then I would expect the business licenses for each one of those people. But if you're running an Etsy store out of your house or anything like that, and you wanted to run it, then so you can take it to however many computers you want.
Awesome.
Just don't be a jerk about it.
That's fair.
Nice.
Dude,
I
this
love
is
it.
awesome.
Well,
and I hope I get to mess around with it at some point. Jim, I hope that Jim ends up being able to make some videos on it, and I can't wait to see what all the cool stuff that people make with this, because it's going to be amazing.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see what people I can't even think about that can do with it.
Yeah.
Who have some actual photo editing skills and can do some pre-processing that I can't do, that kind of stuff.
Crap, I'm done. I love it. Well, I say we got a few minutes. Let's hit some HotMakes. You can hang out for HotMakes for a minute?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, let's do it. That was weird.
All right. So I'm going to jump into HotMakes, but there's a bunch of you here. I'm just curious, how many have seen this?
What printers did you bring? This is my Prusa Mini. I love this thing. It is the perfect size.
Nice. That is small.
This thing prints Galaxy Black like so good. Don't even get me started about the support.
Nice.
Gross. Now this is a printer. It is bigger. It's enclosed. It is super freaking fast. And if you open this up, I keep my PLA right here. I keep my silk right here. I keep my rainbow
That's so
right
overkill.
here. There's even a poop chute right there.
Garbage.
Average Joe, what'd you bring?
It was free. Rock on.
It even has a light, and the little thing goes out the bottom right here. It's pretty cool.
That's a BL Touch. It actually levels your bed.
You mean there's no wheels?
No, it does it automatically.
What about the magnet cover? It protects the magnet from glue. It actually stops it from getting dusty. So cool.
That is a flexible build plate, man. You're supposed to print on that, not the magnet. Just testing you guys.
I love it. I love it.
I love this.
What just happened? Oh, fantastic. Well done. What's going on? Dude, we can't hear you.
Who, me?
There we go.
Oh.
There he is. He probably muted for the video.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ran away for a second, and let me know in the comment what you think. I had fun doing that, and it was definitely outside of the comfort zone there for a minute. But I just wanted to point out, here you go.
That's
gross. Gross.
You know what? That didn't bother me.
I am not making that full screen, sir.
That didn't bother me because
as a matter of fact,
soap and water, but the glue on the magnet hurt.
Yeah.
That hurt.
You know what's funny? I don't know if Tim's watching from TH3D, but I literally the Ender 3 was my very first machine ever. It was my original Ender 3. I didn't have a flex plate on it. And so I pulled off the crappy bed that's over here somewhere. I grabbed a magnet that I had laying around from TH3D with his flex plates, and I stuck it on completely sideways just because I had to, right? And I can't even move the bed. Like, it doesn't go back because it's so sideways. And so I definitely just wasted a magnet for that video, but it was fun.
Fantastic.
Look at you donate. No, I'm not looking at that. No, it's
gross. That's gross.
It looks
like poo-poo. I don't like it.
You should have seen the outtakes. I was trying to do this, and I was literally like, that one was gross. That was disgusting. Like, it felt gross doing it, but it was so much fun. All right. Anyways, the first one, Joel telling print in place crane. I need this in my life, by the way.
This is cool.
This is it just prints in place.
Yeah.
And
I love this style of wheel that's been coming out.
Oh, so you turn the knob and it does all the stuff?
Yeah. It does all the things. It actually works. Look at this. And it's all print in place.
Cool.
Has a little kickstand to put the crane up. I love it.
I would be cool. Oh man, I'd be playing with that all day.
And you'll never guess what color this is.
Is it Galaxy?
It's Galaxy Black.
Okay. All right, yeah.
It's Galaxy Black on the Prusa MK4. So I just had to throw that out there.
Was that intentional or was that totally coincidental?
No, I don't know that this was coincidental. In my video, I definitely was intentional because everybody loves Galaxy Black. As a matter of fact, Nick is watching. In the AMS. Oh, did I take it out? I might have taken it out. In the AMS, it didn't make the video, but I had a roll of Polymaker Galaxy Black, and I was gonna hold that up, and it just to like poke the bear a little more.
Fantastic.
And it didn't get in. So, but anyways, all right, that's phenomenal. Everybody hit Colts, and I need this in my life. By the way.
Oh geez, I would sit up the next one. I
would sit and like pick up stuff from my desk, like that would be so okay. All right, next, Abby.
Man,
oh yeah.
I do not know how to describe to you how jealous I am that they got to work with Transformers and Paramount and Adam.
Yeah,
like
that was like the dream tour.
I know,
right? To Hacksmith and then Adam and with Paramount.
Whew, man, that is too
seriously cool. Amazing. The video is awesome. If you guys haven't seen the video Joel did about this Transformer head, go watch it. Epic.
Optimus Primal.
Epic. Yeah.
Good movie, by the way. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm a huge as a huge Transformers nerd. Yeah, I liked it.
Okay,
good. It's fun.
Obviously haven't seen it yet, but this was pretty cool, and thank you guys for tagging us because
I'll go see it with you.
Super jealous.
I'll just like sit in the theater, do a video call with you the whole time.
Let's do it. All right, here we go. Ethan's dad, Marcus, he's with us. Nico gave away this. I'm gonna pause this for a second. This Blue Beetle model today on Uncle Jesse's Elegoo giveaway stream.
Ooh,
thought it would look good in the quantum filament.
That's really pretty. Does that have a giant layer height, or am I just seeing kind of the artifacts of the Curse of Silk?
It doesn't look like it has a huge layer height to me.
Yeah, no, it looks okay. No, it's just a close up of silk filament. Dude, silk is so difficult to print with.
Well, there's some texture there.
There's texture, yeah. I was gonna say there's a lot of texture in this.
It looks awesome.
Yeah,
regardless,
I love it. Super cool, and I think the filament choice was great. Yeah,
yeah. The color is perfect for that like character for that design.
Yeah,
super cool. Nice work there, Marcus. Loving it.
Beautiful.
Caleb's dream. All right. James Bricknell, I think, finally finished the entire Star Wars art piece. I'm very happy with it. 3D printed on multiple printers using Anycubic black PLA and graphite powder.
When we eventually have a new house, one of these is going up. Has to.
Look at that.
That is too cool.
That is really cool.
That's sick. I mean, the graphite powder. Come on.
Yeah.
Add something that
I would never think to do that, but that's super cool.
It's just above his lightsaber too.
The lightsaber.
Yeah.
Such a cool art piece, and it's awesome that it's like in tiles, right?
Yeah.
So if we go back here, you can see, it's done in multiple tiles.
Where did those? This is a very heavily printed on multiple printers using graphite. So, like, where did these files come from? Did he design the files? I want them. Is my point. I need to know where to get them.
I don't think he says here. Maybe
that's why
somewhere else.
Give us the sauce.
Ooh, look.
We need the sauce.
Of course, he's showing off the
STL bro
setup here. Yeah. I didn't see how much
Oh,
layers this has.
there's a ton of height on some of those. The
Holy.
turrets. Oh, the turrets are awesome.
Yeah.
And there's LEDs.
Oh man, and this is one of those that doesn't show right in still.
Yeah, I would have never seen all this in a still.
Ridiculously cool.
This is sick. We need to find out where do we get this? Maybe he made it. I'm not sure. Oh my gosh. Everybody's like, do it.
Do it.
All right.
This is gorgeous.
Next up, this is awesome too.
I think I saw this on Reddit. I think Reddit. Yeah, this is
maybe.
Oh no, I think I saw it on YouTube. Yeah, this is gorgeous.
Boom. That's what it looks like.
It also makes me feel a little uncomfortable.
like many tentacles reaching out.
Yeah, it feels like a sea creature I shouldn't be touching.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
The lights are a cool effect though. They're
the crane is on Colts.
I want a video of this one too.
Yeah,
I agree.
They're using the fact that white isn't opaque to get those lights through. We all know about that from lithophanes, but we don't think about it.
Man, that looks sweet. Oh, look. Okay, there's a little QR code there too. I wonder if you can pick that up on your phone through the
show me.
Ooh. I'll leave it up there for a second.
Oh, that's my face. Gross.
All right.
Nope, my phone is not scanning it.
Okay.
Next. 3D Print Bunny, last but not least.
Yeah.
This is another flippin' awesome piece. A Tensegrity table. 3D Print Bunny has been killing it with these in the past. And this one, it just freaks me out. Like the design of the here we go. The pattern here. It just like totally is messes with my head.
Yeah. This feels like, and I don't mean this in a bad way at all, but it feels like the combination of the weird like feeling you get looking at the top combined with the magic of the thing that's floating. This is like the physical representation of having a headache. Like
I spent a lot of time. I saw this earlier and spent a lot of time looking and figuring out that it must print on its side. But I was like, how is this printing this way? Oh yeah, you got to lay it down. But I was like, man, that is really clever to do that. And her stringing is a very cool technique. Yeah, that I am awful at. Bridging is like the worst.
Yeah, she does such a cool. But the design she does on these, I printed a few of them, and like either they go really good or really bad. You know, there's no like it sometimes might half work, but it's like a disaster if it doesn't work. It's so cool.
Man,
she took some more photos, and it's just like it's just
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really super well printed and
absolutely love it. That's gonna take a minute to do all these
all those swaps,
color changes,
The Bridge Master.
Yeah, the Bridge Master. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, we got to get flying. We have a good we have a stop tonight because Caleb has a meeting and we have some stuff coming up. But next week, Stud the Avocado. In 2 weeks. Oh, wait. Yeah.
So June 19th we have Stud the
Avocado. Next week is Stud the Avocado. 2 weeks.
26.
See if I'm back yet from Murph.
Is Murph post show maybe?
We'll see.
And we'll see. It might end up being like a Tuesday. I don't know.
And we'll figure that out. July 3rd, we have FR3D or Fred.
The 3D printing.
Retro Maker after that, and some more cool people following that. So that's just a heads up on what's coming on HotMakes. But I know we got to get flying before we do that.
Jim, was there anything on PayPal?
Oh, crap. I didn't look. I'll look while he's talking.
Check.
One more time before we go. Who are you? What do you do? And most importantly, where can we find your stuff here in a couple of days that we're all going to go shut up and take my money?
Yep.
I'm Steve. I wrote HueForge for my own personal use and everyone wants it. So I'm making it out there. And you can find it at my Shopify, which is Horn and Roadie Shopify, I believe. You have the link in the description, I think, and it was in the chat. And you can find me at HueForge on Twitter, and I will definitely have those links up there, or at my and my Substack is there as well, which will have that information.
Sweet.
Nice. Can't wait. I don't see anything in PayPal, so I'm good with that.
Okay. I just like to make sure we call people out.
Sweet. Well, I am I am absolutely crazy excited for your stuff. We should talk. We should talk because I want to do some stuff on that with my channel, and that'll be a lot of fun. All right.
Before we totally get going, not so we talk about subscribers on YouTube every episode, but I also wanted to say we're at 841 followers on Twitter. We're getting close to 1,000. So that's my next milestone. Is let's see if we can get to 1,000 by the end of the week.
And John, before we leave, you'll get that email sent to you because you signed up for the newsletter. So when I post it, you'll get it, and you'll be first to hear it.
Nice.
Nice.
Sweet, man. Thanks for joining us. This was fun.
Thank you for having me.
And I am only slightly less confused as to how it works.
Once you print a few, you'll get it.
Okay. That's what I need to do. I have to physically make it work.
You need to see it.
All right.
I can't wait. I'm so excited to see what comes out of it, man. Congratulations on this, because it's such an awesome I can't even say it's a start. It's an awesome product now, and I can't wait to see where you go with it.
And you've done amazing. I was immediately wanting to know how many people were on your team, but
let's check it out. Cheesy, what was it? Greasy McCheese says can't wait to try it out. So if Greasy McCheese can't wait, then we're good. So anybody else out there, thank you guys for tuning in. I gotta fly. We all gotta get going. Steve, stay right there. We'll be right back with you.
Okay.
Everybody else, we will see you next week with the Studley avocado.
There
Studley one,
Mr. Gus.
Studley, yeah. I heard he's in the pits. No, bad.
Oh, jeez.
Bad joke. Okay,
we're not gonna have. Oh, somebody else made a comment, and I can't
weekly
find
avocado.
Yeah, weekly guacamole.
Weekly
guacamole. I don't know. All right.
I love it. All right, guys, have a great one. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Kind of hungry. Should I do it? What do you think?
Don't. You were doing this bit for yourself, but I'm jumping in. Don't do it. I'm ending the stream. We're done.